Welcome to Jersey Reads the Classics, an audiobook podcast delving into the finest works of our literary masters. Unfortunately, it's read by this woman.
What the hell? Who cares? Let's go on an adventure.
Hello, and welcome back to Jersey Reads the Classics with me, your host, Rosetta Candia. Well, my friends, we must proceed because this is quite a, well, you know what, it's not such a long book. There are 24 chapters, but they're kind of short chapters. This one's a real short one. So let's just get in and get out. Okay, let's get back to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And today we're reading Chapter 16, The Magic Art of the Great Humbug. Next morning, the Scarecrow said to his friends, "Congratulate me. I'm going to Oz to get my brains at last. When I return, I shall be as other men are." I don't know if that's a good thing. "I have always liked you as you were," said Dorothy simply. "It is kind of you to like a scarecrow," he replied. "But surely you will think more of me when you hear the splendid thoughts my new brain is going to turn out." Then he said goodbye to them all in a cheerful voice and went to the throne room where he rapped upon the door. "Come in," said Oz. The Scarecrow went in and found the little man sitting down by the window, engaged in deep thought. "I have come for my brains," remarked the Scarecrow, a little uneasily. "Oh, yes. Sit down in that chair, please," replied Oz. "You must excuse me for taking your head off, but I shall have to do it in order to put your brains in your proper place." "That's all right," said the Scarecrow. "You are quite welcome to take my head off as long as it will be a better one when you put it on again. We shall see." So the wizard unfastened his head and emptied out the straw. Then he entered the back room and took up a measure of bran, B-R-A-N, I'm thinking it's bran the grain, which he mixed with a great many pins and needles. I don't get the pins and needles. Having shaken them together thoroughly, he filled the top of the Scarecrow's head with the mixture and stuffed the rest of the space with the straw to hold it in place. When he had fastened the Scarecrow's head on his body again, he said to him, "Hereafter you will be a great man, for I have given you a lot of brand new brains." And it's bran as in B-R-A-N, what he filled it with, not brand. The Scarecrow was both pleased and proud at the fulfillment of his greatest wish, and having thanked Oz warmly, he went back to his friends. Dorothy looked at him curiously. His head was quite bulged out at the top with brains. "How do you feel?" she asked. "I feel wise indeed," he answered earnestly. "When I get used to my brains, I shall know everything." "There are a lot of people that have brains that know nothing. Oh, Scarecrow, you'll find out soon enough." "Why are all those needles and pins sticking out of your head?" asked the Tin Woodman. "That is proof that he is sharp," remarked the Lion. "Oh, that's funny. Do you get it? Because I was wondering what's up with the pins and needles. But that is proof that he is sharp? Like sharp-witted? That's great." "Well, I must go to Oz and get my heart," said the Woodman. So he walked to the throne room and knocked at the door. "Come in," called Oz, and the Woodman entered and said, "I have come for my heart." "Very well," answered the little man, "but I shall have to cut a hole in your breast so I can put your heart in the right place. I hope it won't hurt you." "Oh, no," answered the Woodman, "I shall not feel it at all." So Oz brought a pair of tinsmith's shears and cut a small square hole in the left side of the Tin Woodman's breast. Then, going to a chest of drawers, he took out a pretty heart made entirely of silk and stuffed it with sawdust. "Isn't it a beauty?" he asked. "It is indeed," replied the Woodman, who was greatly pleased. "But is it a kind heart?" "Oh, very," answered Oz. He put the heart in the Woodman's breast and then replaced the square of tin, soldering it neatly together where it had been cut. "There," said he. "Now you have a heart that any man might be proud of. I'm sorry I had to put a patch on your breast, but it really couldn't be helped." The Great Wizard is pretty smart. For an old fucker, he's smart what he's doing with all these guys. I'm kind of loving it. I'm not going to lie. I'm just not going to lie. I think it's funny as shit because he's telling them and giving them exactly what they want. But what he's really doing is, we know what he's doing. Giving them the confidence. He's just giving them a physical thing of something they already have. We'll talk about that in the woo-woo. Okay. Never mind the patch, exclaimed the happy woodman. I am very grateful to you and shall never forget your kindness. Don't speak of it, replied Oz. Then the Tin Woodman went back to his friends, who wished him every joy on account of his good fortune. The Lion now walked to the throne room and knocked at the door. Come in, said Oz. I have come for my courage, announced the Lion, entering the room. Very well, answered the little man. I will get it for you. He went to a cupboard and, reaching up to a high shelf, took down a square green bottle, the contents of which he poured into a green gold dish beautifully carved. Placing this before the Cowardly Lion, who sniffed at it as if he did not like it, the Wizard said, Drink. What is it? Asked the Lion. Well, answered Oz, if it were inside of you, it would be courage. You know, of course, that courage is always inside one, so that this really cannot be called courage until you have swallowed it. Therefore, I advise you to drink it as soon as possible. The Lion hesitated no longer, but drank till the dish was empty. How do you feel now? Asked Oz. Full of courage, replied the Lion, who went joyfully back to his friends to tell them of his good fortune. Oz, left to himself, smiled to think of his success in giving the Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman and the Lion exactly what they thought they wanted. How can I help being a humbug, he said, when all these people make me do things that everybody knows can't be done? It was very easy to make the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Woodman happy because they imagined I could do anything. But it will take more than imagination to carry Dorothy back to Kansas, and I'm sure I don't know how it can be done. Ooh, short chapter, but that packed a punch, huh? And there we have Oz having some great thoughts over there. You see, what does he say? I could make them happy because I'm giving them what they want. He knows he's a sham, and he says these people still want it, and he was honest with them. But the thing is this, my friends, it's like these people, the Tin Woodman, the Scarecrow, and the Lion, are waiting for somebody else to give them things that they already have. What are you waiting for? That you need validation or accolades that you know you already have, or do you not know you already have? I mean, this is the thing. They have done studies that if there's a child that's not doing well in a certain subject, they then tell the child, well, you're doing really well. You really have an affinity for this. They're going to, you know, this is math is a great subject for you. And then the child thinks it's doing really well. So what happens, it actually has more interest in the subject and starts studying more, which then produces better grades. So it is the power of the mind. So now each one of them think that they actually got brains, a heart, and courage from the wizard, but they've had it all along. They just needed that affirmation, that validation that they had it. And it's kind of like us. We every day are walking around with wonderful things that we inherently have, but we're not valuing it, and we're not celebrating it, and we're not having the confidence, as we talked about in the last chapter, to own it. So what happens, we walk around feeling less than. We compare ourselves to other people who think they have it all. Like some people think they have it. Did you ever notice that? And nothing against them. Sometimes you wonder that when people boast too much, I don't really buy their confidence. But, you know, there are people that walk around really confident, which is admirable because they're confident in just who they are and they seem to get everything. But you want to know why it is? It's because they're attracting whatever they're putting out there. So your energy is going to attract whatever you put out there. So you have to start believing in yourself. You need to start, and I hate saying you need because it's not a terrible thing. Need's a lack. I'm going to encourage you to start looking really at your qualities, your gifts, your traits. We talked about this last chapter, but I really want to drive it in because this chapter is just reiterating it. The wizard wasn't giving them something they didn't already have, but they needed that validation. And it seems like today, especially all of us, because of social media and this and that and everything else, we all want validation that we are worthy, we are pretty, we are enough. And then we look at other people and we think we don't have anything in comparison to them. Please don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's all bullshit. Most of these people are they're perpetrating a fraud. Just everybody you think is having the grandest life and you are not. Remember, you're looking at their highlight reels, okay? So it's not about others. It's about how you see yourself. So I'm going to encourage you to start really, this is important. I think this is a daily practice. Looking in the mirror, and telling yourself how beautiful you are, how wonderful you are, and going over the beautiful traits you have. Because I'm telling you, my friends, if we told ourselves enough of the good things, it would take away the negative things. Because in our society, it's so normal for us to think negatively, right? Do you notice that there's times people just like, they automatically, there's a situation, they automatically go, I don't know if you're one of them, it's okay, I'm not shaming anybody or making you feel guilty, automatically go to the bad things that could happen. Why aren't we taught to think about the good things? And there are people that inherently know, but what are the good things that can happen? Like, you got let go of your job, but the good thing is, wait a second, this opens me up for me to start a new job, for me to create my business that I've been wanting to work on. You see, we are automatically trained, and we automatically think of the bad things because that's fear, worry, and doubt, because we put ourselves in this state of lack. And instead of thinking like, wait a second, what are the good things that can happen? And it's the same thing about us. It's like we automatically are taught in society since the beginning of time, especially women have faced this, but now it's just everybody, to feel less than, that you're not enough. And it's got to stop. It's got to stop with us as the consumer. We got to stop consuming that shit. We got to take back our power. How do we take back our power? We choose to put in our brain what we choose to think about ourselves. We choose what we're going to spend our money on. We choose what we're going to read, what we're going to talk about. We choose about the things that we give attention to. And once we stop giving attention to all this crap that makes us feel worse than what we already are feeling worse about, which is bullshit, that shit withers away. And that's the thing, like during this pandemic, everybody's like, I want to go back to normal. Normal wasn't that great. I know it sucks wearing a mask and all that stuff, but I'm not talking about that. Our society needs a shift in thought. And it's the way it treats people, how they value certain things. Our society is too worried about being rich, famous, and all this other crap without having talent or goods or anything good to offer. Everything has been a big facade, but things are starting to shift. The facade is starting to break down, just like Oz, right? He was found out to be a humbug. So then we see the truth of who he is, and now we're seeing the truth of a lot of people that are in the public eye, whether they're an entertainer, whether they're a political person, whether there's somebody who is an inspirational speaker, doesn't make a difference. Point is this, it's time for us to be our own friggin' role model, to be our own friggin' guru. So we have all this stuff in us. We're just not taught to tap onto it. So start tapping into you. Tap into your goods. Tap into your gifts. Tap into all the good that you are, my friends, and shine that light on yourself. Shine it, because let me tell you something. When you shine your light and you walk in the world as who you are, and you're authentic, and you love yourself, and you're confident. I'm not saying being cocky. We've talked about that. Cocky is not attractive, but being confident and owning who you are, truly owning who your truthful self is. Not putting on a front, putting on who you like, not putting on a fake mask, owning who you truly are, warts and all, as we like to say. Because warts aren't, like, these things aren't bad. Whatever you are is who you are. When you do that, want to know what happens? The world around you changes, but you inspire others to shine their light. So now what happens? Everybody starts shining their light, and then the whole world becomes a brighter place. So let's just shine our fucking light. Let's find our fucking light. And how do we do that? Start looking in the mirror and start loving on yourself. Start telling yourself all the beautiful things that you would tell the person you love the most. You should be loving yourself the most. Yeah, my friends, that's the truth. You should be loving yourself the most. And I hate saying shoulds because it's like, don't should on me. But the point is this. You are with you for this whole time that you're on this planet Earth, right here, right now. And even though your parents, family, and friends, your loved ones love you, but you got to find that inner love, because that love, that place of unconditional love, of loving yourself and seeing yourself for more than whatever the shell is, and seeing all that beauty, because beauty is the light that comes from within. And when you start tapping into all the wonderful things that you have inside, that's what shines. And then people see that light and they're like, oh. So beauty is not about what society has told us, like what's symmetrical and this person has this features and this hair and all that. No, real beauty is that light, that love you have for yourself, that confidence, the confidence to stand in your truth and authenticity and truly shine the light of who you are. That's real beauty. And when you can own who you are and be proud of who you are, then the journey, my friend, becomes easier, because you don't let other shit rattle you, because it's all shit, let me tell you. All this other stuff we're being fed is not the truth. It's all a facade, and that's why everything is crumbling. and everything is falling apart so it can fall into place. So let's be the pioneers. Let's be the doers of our own life. Let's start working on ourselves and finding the beauty in ourselves and loving ourselves so much and so unconditionally that when we exit after this pandemic, we just radiate all that beauty, because now is a great time to take care of you. If not now, when? Okay, my friends. Ooh, Rosie was going off, but it wasn't Rosie. It was Spirit. But I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope that this is bringing you some solace and some inspiration and hopefully a little entertainment. I keep saying that because I kind of feel like that's what I'm here for, just to be me. It's taken me a long time to understand that I'm here for that, and that's what came with age. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing. So anyway, hoping you have a blessed day, wishing you so much love, light, peace, joy, bliss, and joy, and sending, I gave you joy twice, because you should be joy-filled, and knowing that you already are enough and worthy. Sending you so much love, and until we read again, ciao for now. I haven't done that in a while. I guess I'm not feeling snarky. I'm feeling the movement, the motion. Ooh.